So a few weeks back, I started building and designing a solar generator to take on the road with me as I travel around on my motorcycle, so I can do business and edit and upload videos. But I'm going to show you all the details about how to do this. So I'm continuing to test my new gear. Today I am testing the 40-watt panels that fold up just a little bit bigger than the 30-watt that I was using, that I've been testing out. But this 30-watt is only 15 volts, which means I have to boost the voltage to be able to charge my batteries. So it means I'm going to have to carry around another device that's breakable and might fail on the trail. So I decided to spend an extra, what is that? It's almost double the price for an 18-volt system with 40 watts. But this thing is blowing out the batteries. It's pretty amazing the difference it's making. This little guy here, charging my battery pack in about 6 hours, does okay. This thing, my new guy, almost fully charged in 3 hours. So the cells are 4 in a series and 9 packs in parallel. It's going to give me 16 volts. I was at 190 amp hours with the pack that I had before with 6. So what is this going to be? This is going to be another 3, so another 80 amp hours or so, 85, another 85 amp hours. So that's a lot of power, it's a lot of juice, and I may actually wind up building me a little box to carry this stuff around in. But so far I'm digging all my equipment except my Asus laptop. I had to send that sucker back because there is not a single DC to DC jack. So in other words, I bought this guy, and it has these little removable guys on here. I don't know if you can see this. It has these little removable guys. Well, I can't find a single one on any on anything that's going to allow me to charge that Asus. But it's got Dell jacks and it's got HP jacks, so I decided to send that bitch back and get something that would work. Now, what I'm going to try to figure out how to do, or how to do it, is I'm going to splice all these guys to splice these new packs in to the rest of the packs. So I finished building my battery pack yesterday, and I put a pretty big load on it yesterday. I had a whole big spool of DC wire, and I attached some connectors to be able to stretch this thing out. So I've got So I made an 80-foot spool, and there's most of it wrapped up there. But you can see that this thing is out there. And of course I've got to run the, got to be able to put the panels in the sunlight, and I don't want to have to put my tent or my hammock in the sunlight. I don't want to make camp in the sunlight, or at least not in the summer. So I've got the my fold-out portable panels in what I think is going to be the first place the sun hits, but it's also pretty overcast. This morning I want to do some more load testing on the battery, just kind of see. I did a full render of I think about 13-14 minute video yesterday. Also, I want to demonstrate that this laptop has no battery pack. So everything that's coming into this laptop is coming out of that battery pack. And I've got, I think, around 250 watt hours in this battery pack. So in theory, I think I could probably get maybe a couple of days out of this machine. But also, I've got my DC to DC converter. It's taking 16 volts. Taking 16 volts with this. Yeah, it's kind of ghetto, but I haven't figured out how to combine this thing and protect it yet. So, but I've got a switch on here. Oops. And so I'm basically taking 16 volts, running it through this adapter here. And it's coming out 19.5 volts out of this connector. So far so good. I've ordered a new laptop, should be here next week. So that's going to be the final determinant of whether this setup is going to work. And you can see it's kind of sweaty on the laptop. It's pretty cold inside the bus, pretty warm and muggy out here. So we're going to boot up the laptop, and then we're going to run some video. We're going to render some video, which is about the most powerful, stressful thing you can do on this. This is probably a, I don't know, 6-8 year old laptop. Not really sure. It's an i3, which means it's probably 5 years or older. 4-core, quad-core i3, 64-bit. I would say it's okay. I mean, it renders video, so how much complaining can I actually do? I would suggest not much. But the new one's coming. I think we got 6 cores on it. A nice, very hot video card. Well, I may have a dead laptop here. There we go. Jeez. All right, now everybody knows the password to my laptop. So, obviously we've got a little bit of a load on here. We're going to have much more of a load on here once I start rendering. But I'm going to render, take some more juice off the battery pack while I wait for the sun to come up, and then we'll look at to see how fast the battery pack will replenish. I'm pretty impressed comparing the old 30-watt panel that I had, which was tiny. It probably folded up to about half the size of this new panel. But the new panels, 40 watts, 18 volts versus 30 watts and 15. Just night and day difference as far as charging. I think the other one would do good to 6 to 8 hours to charge the battery pack up, and that's before I even had the extension on here, before I even added more packs to it. So but yesterday it seemed like it charged everything up almost completely in like 3.5 hours. So we're gonna try it again today and see how that works. I'm gonna call this export number 3, and we're gonna make it a 1080. Whew. 1080 at 20 frames, and we're rendering at 708. So yeah, it's gonna put a fairly good load on this battery pack, but I'm really impressed at the battery pack even. You may wonder why I'm going to such extreme lengths to build a solar generator to power a silly laptop. Well, the fact is that being able to work from the road not only frees up my time and allows me to extend my range and time away from home, but it also allows me to do a lot of other things. It opens up a lot of opportunities, especially to be out in the wilderness and not have to rely on stays in a hotel room, or at least coffee shops, things that I've always traditionally had to access for power resources when I'm on my motorcycle. And just this is a huge obstacle for me, and if I can get it figured out, it just opens up so many doors and so many opportunities to radically change the way I live. If I can access the world on a motorcycle, I can do just about anything, and I'm very excited about the possibilities. Obviously, being out in the middle of nowhere, I'm probably not going to be, well, I'm not going to be carrying this camp chair at all. I've got my other chair, but it's probably not going to see much use in that chair either unless I'm not sitting in it. But most likely what's going to happen is this thing's going to be laying flat. So let's go ahead and take this thing loose and show you. Something like that, just laying down on the ground. But what I was trying to say earlier is that the potential, at least for hanging this up on a tree if needed, I think the description said water resistant. So I would think that means water resistant as long as you're not getting water down in the components there. Just like all other solar panels, there's not much to the panels themselves. Light hits it and it converts photons into current, and then sends the current down a wire. And I think that may be the only place where the magic happens. I'm not sure what all components they've got in there, but let's do a foldy thing real quick while we've got it disassembled. I'll show you what it looks like when it's... So this basically, you take all those rings out of there and you're ready to go, right? That's it. So it's just a little bit bigger, than the one I had before. Just a little bit thicker. So this is what goes with it. So I've got this cord, which is 4 feet maybe, and that would go inside here. And I've got some more of those adapters, and we're going to have to see when the laptop gets here if that's going to actually work for mine. But it's possible that I just put a pouch full of adapters in there and throw this in a side case, and rock and roll. We'll see. I mean, that's pretty damn easy. Doesn't get much easier than that, I don't think.